about a little different number, though. I want to go back to a date, 1995. And Rick talked about that they designed this network for an entire year. And I think back to 1995, my son, who is now a sophomore here at Central, was a year and a half old, and I was changing diapers. And I have a question for everybody in the room. In 1995, how many people had one of these? Show of hands. There's one, there's two, three liars in the room. You didn't have one of these. If you did, it came in a big satchel with a big handle, and it had a big antenna, right? It was called a cellular bag phone, right? The next question is, in 1995, how many people in the room knew what internet stood for? Think. In 1995, not very many of us knew what internet stood for, what the definition was, let alone have a personal computer in our home hooked up to that thing that's called the internet. Yet, in 1995, the district had the foresight to realize that fiber was critical to their success and critical to the future of this district. And they partnered with Cablevision. And it was one of the best investments, as you saw on the slides, that this district has ever made. It's unheard of across the country for school districts to not have to pay for connectivity between buildings on a monthly basis. And we're blessed to have this foundation that was built in 1996, and it stood the test of time. It has truly stood the test of time, and it repays us and our kids and our students every month. And I just want to thank you guys for the foresight and the partnership there. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Rick. Thanks.
Again, want to briefly touch on just some of the operational things that we use our technology and fiber network today. Believe it or not, the state requires us to collect 144 different data points on every student. We track over 11 million hours of attendance, serve 9,800 lunches a day, and without a data system, that would be virtually impossible. Environmental controls are managed in the buildings using technology, and you can't get a box of paper clips or Kleenex without us knowing where it goes, and we track inventory just as you would expect any large business to do. Our technology is supported by a ratio of 1 staff per 800 devices, and really the Gantner Group, which sets the best practices, we should really be down to about 1 to 150. Point is, we're able to do a lot because of the bandwidth that we have. We can use that bandwidth and leverage it for some economies of scale as to how we manage that fiber network. And so really, the technology is used in absolutely every phase of our operation. Yet, as you saw in the first meeting and was driven home by many of the comments from those in attendance, they were surprised to find that only 1% of our total budget is used to support the technology endeavors of the school district. I want to just tell you, now that you know a little bit about technology in the school district, we want to take the conversation up to a 50,000-foot view, and we're going to show you a little video here, and it just kind of whets your appetite and tells you a little bit about the nature of technology. I need to apologize. Some of the points in here, they're in red lettering, and they're very difficult. They can be somewhat difficult to see. We couldn't find or make another version of this. This is not our video. It was produced by some other gentlemen nationally, but we want to just let you see this video, and then we'll pick up the conversation.